This week we're delighted to have Master Gardener Bob Barca with us to tell us what to do in the garden this March. Thanks for joining us, Bob.
It's my pleasure, Leila. Thank you.
And Bob, will you share with us some essential gardening tips for March?
Okay. I'd say the first thing is to pull any existing weeds you have in your beds and clean them up, cutting off old stems and canes and cleaning up old debris and leaves.
Okay.
If you let your weeds stay, they will go to seed, they will flower and go to seed and be a real nightmare in the years to come. And that's true even for what we call an annual weed. This is shotweed, which is all over Northwest gardens now.
Okay.
And it starts in fall and in winter. It begins sometimes even to flower by now. It'll be gone in the summer because it's an annual weed. It dies, but it'll produce thousands of seeds and it'll be a nightmare.
Oh, yuck.
Now, as far as the cleaning up stems and that sort of thing, if you don't do that, you might have disease on them that's carried over, and that will infect your new growth when it begins. Some other things that you should be thinking about pruning too. Of course, you still have time to do your apples, but some other shrubs, like for example, summer flowering clematis. They grow new growth and flower the coming summer, and if you've let that stand over the winter, cut it back now to about 2 feet and clean it up.
Okay.
Another thing I might mention is the very popular butterfly bush, which some people are concerned about the fact that it might be invasive. You don't want it to get too tall anyway, so if you cut it back now to like a couple of feet, the new growth will start in a month or so, and you will have flowers this summer, and it will be of a height that you can maintain it. You can cut off the seed heads, throw them away, and you won't have to worry about it being invasive. If you have something in the garden that you want to move, a shrub or a tree, and it's small enough size you can do this, this is the time to do it. And people often ask, why would I want to move a shrub or tree? Well, if you've learned that it's in the wrong site, for example, if it's something that's a sun lover and you've got it in a fairly shady site, it's not going to do well, it's going to flower poorly. And you can dig it and move it at this time. Your perennials, the ones that flower in the summer and fall, if they're overgrown, they're too large, or they're dying in the center, they're not flowering well, now is the time that you dig them and divide them into sections and replant them. If it's a spring bloomer, it's normally best to wait until like September to do that so you don't interfere with this year's flowers. And you can be seeding some things in the garden right now. You can seed things like peas and carrots and lettuce and chard, or you can also plant starts that are available. Like for example, asparagus and rhubarb can be put right in the garden. The warm crops like pumpkins and tomatoes and peppers, those are normally set out after the frost date is, after a safe frost date has been established, like around Mother's Day. But you can seed those now and get an early start. And you don't have to have a greenhouse to do this. You can use a sunny windowsill, you can use a shop or basement with a fluorescent light to do that. Finally, I might mention that you might be looking at your lawn and seeing if it needs any attention this month. And if you have bare spots, or you need to reseed parts of your lawn, that can be done at this time also.
Thank you so much, Bob. Now I know exactly what I need to be doing in the garden this month.